The Chargers just pulled off a thrilling win over the Bengals, and now they're making moves to keep their season alive. This isn't just about celebrating a victory, it's about staying ready for what's next. With injuries piling up and the Ravens up ahead, you've got to wonder, can they keep this momentum going when it really counts? Behind the scenes, the Chargers aren't sitting back. They've made a smart roster move that could be a game changer for the rest of the season. So, what exactly did they do, and how will it help them face one of their toughest challenges yet? Let's break it all down, because this is where things get really interesting. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Did you watch the last game versus Bengals? What a game that was. The Chargers came out swinging against the Bengals, and it was one of those matchups that had you on the edge of your seat. Justin Herbert was absolutely dialed in. 28 completions, over 350 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's the kind of performance you dream of as a fan. How about Ladd McConkey? He really showed up when the team needed him the most. With 7 catches for 123 yards, he was the go-to guy in those pressure moments, especially during the final drives. And let's not forget J.K. Dobbins. He came through in the clutch with that game-winning 29-yard touchdown run in the final minute. These are the kind of moments that make football so thrilling. It's players stepping up under pressure and delivering when it counts. That's what it's all about. The defense was insane too. They started off strong, holding the Bengals to just 6 points in the first half. Guys like Tuli Tuipulotu were making plays left and right, showing why this team's pass rush is a force to be reckoned with. Sure, the Bengals made it interesting in the second half, but the Chargers showed grit and closed it out when it counted. It was a statement win. No doubt about it. The Chargers are proving they can hang with anyone, even when the pressure is on. But as exciting as that game was, they know the job is not done yet. There's a lot more football to be played, and the Ravens are right around the corner. Let's dive into this move that's got everyone talking. The Chargers recently added cornerback DiCaprio Bootle to their practice squad. At first glance, it might not grab headlines like a blockbuster trade, but make no mistake, this is a savvy, forward-thinking move. Why? It's all about building depth and preparing for the tough stretch ahead. For those who might not know, Bootle isn't new to the Chargers. He's been part of this squad before and knows the system. After leaving, he gained valuable experience bouncing between teams, including a stint with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he was part of their Super Bowl winning roster. That kind of exposure to high-pressure games, it's priceless, especially for a team like the Chargers, who are pushing for a playoff run. Right now, the Chargers secondary has been dealing with ups and downs, and consistency has been a big challenge. Eli Apple, for example, has had moments but hasn't been the reliable presence they need. That's where Bootle comes in. He's younger, faster, and eager to prove himself. He's also versatile, able to step into different roles depending on what the defense needs. The timing of this move couldn't be better. With key injuries piling up, especially in the secondary, the Chargers need fresh legs and players ready to step in at a moment's notice. Bootle's experience on multiple rosters and his drive to make an impact could be exactly what the team needs to stabilize their defense and stay competitive as the stakes get higher. This is absolutely a strategic move. In a season where every roster decision matters, the Chargers are showing they're thinking ahead. Bootle might just be the kind of player who surprises everyone when it matters most. Moving on to the injury report, something that no fan likes to hear, especially when the timing couldn't be worse. For the Chargers, it feels like the hits just keep coming. Let's start with Khalil Mack. He's been a defensive cornerstone all season, leading the team with 11 sacks and consistently putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. But now he's dealing with a groin injury. It's a tough blow, especially with a team like the Ravens up next. We're talking about one of the best rushing offenses in the league. If Mack isn't at full strength, it could seriously affect the Chargers' ability to contain Lamar Jackson and the ground game. Then there's Joey Bosa. He's been battling a hip issue, but there's some optimism here. He's been practicing, which is always a good sign. Bosa has had an up-and-down season, but when he's healthy, he's a game changer. The Chargers will need the best version of Bosa on Sunday if they want to keep the Ravens' offense in check. And then Dean Leonard and the issues in the secondary. Hamstring injuries like his can be tricky. They're the kind of thing that can linger if not managed carefully. Leonard might not grab the headlines, but his role as a depth piece in the secondary is crucial, especially with the Ravens' dynamic passing attack in play. Other key players in the backfield are also nursing injuries, which puts even more pressure on this unit. This is where the depth of the team really gets tested. The Chargers have shown flashes of brilliance on defense this season, ranking in the top 10 in stopping runs. But with key players banged up, the challenge only gets tougher. How they handle these injuries could make all the difference in this next stretch of games. The biggest concern, though, is depth. That's why bringing in DiCaprio Bootle was so smart. It gives them a little breathing room if guys like Mack or Bosa can't go full speed. But it's not just about individual players. It's how these injuries affect the whole game plan. If the Chargers can't generate their usual pressure or lock down receivers, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to take advantage of every opening. The Ravens are up next, and this game is shaping up to be a major test for the Chargers. With the playoff race heating up, every win matters more than ever. Right now, the Chargers are in the thick of the fight for a wildcard spot, and beating a strong team like Baltimore would not only boost their record, but also send a message to the rest of the league. The Ravens are one of the toughest opponents they'll face this season, so this game could have huge implications for how the playoff picture unfolds. Lamar Jackson is a nightmare for defenses, and the Ravens' run game is one of the best in the league. If the Chargers want to come out on top, they've got to be ready for 4 quarters of pure grind. The Chargers' defense has been solid in that area lately, but this is a whole new challenge. If they can slow down Lamar and limit big plays from guys like Gus Edwards, they'll force the Ravens to rely on their passing game, a much better situation for the Chargers' young secondary. Offensively, it's all about Justin Herbert. He's got to keep that same fire we saw against the Bengals: smart decisions, accurate throws, and spreading the ball around. If Herbert can get the Ravens' defense on their heels early, it'll open things up for the run game and make life a lot easier for everyone. Both teams are physical, both have something to prove, and both know how to make things happen in crunch time. You've got to give credit where it's due. This Chargers team is showing real growth. Think about where they were just a couple of seasons ago. Now, here they are, playing meaningful football late in the season with a real shot at making noise in the playoff race. That's a big deal. The win against the Bengals wasn't just exciting, it showed how much fight this team has. They've got the talent, sure, but it's the grit and determination that's standing out. Games like that, where you dig deep and find a way to win, are what define a season. Even with the injuries and the tough schedule ahead, there's a different energy around this team. They're making smart moves, adapting to challenges, and finding ways to keep pushing forward. As a fan, that's all you can ask for: seeing your team compete and prove they belong. This next stretch of games is going to show us a lot about what this team is made of. Are they just a good team, or are they ready to take the next step and become great? One thing's for sure: the Chargers aren't backing down, and it's going to be a fun ride to see how it all plays out. All right, fans, now it's your turn. What do you think about the team's chances against the Ravens? Can they keep Lamar Jackson in check? And how do you feel about the move to bring back DiCaprio Bootle? Smart planning or just filling a gap? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we want to hear from you. What's your prediction for the game? And who do you think needs to step up the most for the Chargers to pull off another win? If you're as fired up about this team as we are, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's a lot more to come this season, and you won't want to miss any of it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you after what's shaping up to be another exciting game. Go Bolts!